Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is part 6 of Let's Make a Puzzle. Before we go ahead with continuing with the coding, I was looking through off camera and I realised there's a couple of things we forgot to do on the message. So first of all, let's go to our content drawer, go to our message drawer, and we want to bring in this static mesh. And you notice I press N key, it doesn't always sit where it should sit, okay? So, especially when we put our actor into the world, we'll see that it actually sinks into the floor. We can deal with it in the actor probably easier. Go to our static mesh, and we can say put 2 up on the Z. Compile it, go back to here, press that N key, and you see that solves that problem. Okay. The other thing that we did forget to do is add any form of collision on these meshes. So we need to add the collision. So let's open them both up. Just for convenience, for the base mesh, we're going to click on it. We're going to look up here and say collision. There is no collision, look. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to say in our details panel here, we're going to go to collision complexity. We're going to say use complex collision as simple. We click the little eyeball here, view simple collision. We now see we have a collision on it. Okay, make sure you save it. And our puzzle piece, we're just going to quite simply say add box simplified collision, and you see it gives us a green line around it, and we're done there. Okay, close, close. Okay, so let's now dive into the code proper. Okay, first of all, let's open up our character. And let's go to our event graph, our tick function where we've got our tracer. We're going to drag in the hit actor. And we're going to drag up here and go print string, just so we know that we're hitting this actor or not, just to test that our trace is working. So we'll compile, quick go ahead and play. It shouldn't show up anything until we look at here. Then it should show, there it is, BP puzzle. So we know that we're going to be able to interact with that. Okay. So I'm happy with the collisions working fine and that we can interact with it. So let's go to our puzzle piece, our event graph. In our left hand side here, we go to our interfaces, double click, do something. And in here, what we want to do is get player controller. And from here, we're going to say get controlled pawn. And we're going to drag in our player, and we're going to set that. Okay. Get our player controller again, paste that's fine, and we're going to say set view target with blend with node. Blend time, we're just going to go to blend time. New target is going to be itself. So it's this blueprint. Now, we don't want it to possess immediately. We want to see the blend happen, so it's like an animation. So we're going to get a delay. And we're going to drag our blend time in for the duration. So in other words, it will wait until this is finished. And you can play around with blend time to you. Then we're going to get our possesses and unpossesses function, and we're going to make sure we check possess. Okay. Then we're going to right click and we're going to say IA underscore interact. And we're going to basically copy all of these. Try to copy all of them. And paste them down here. Okay, the difference being is instead of being self, we're going to drag in our player as a new target, and we are going to uncheck possesses. We're going to drag in our create puzzle and then our shuffle puzzle. So basically, recreates and reshuffles our puzzle at the end. And I think the only thing we have to do now is okay, on our event begin play, these two. Event begin play, we need to get our tiles. We're going to for each through those. And then we're going to drag out of here and we're going to bind event to on clicked. Drag off the event here and we'll create event, create matching event, and we're going to say on tile clicked. Okay, back up to here, and at the end of here we're going to say excuse me, up here we're going to shuffle our puzzle after it's completed there. We've got to fill this function out, but we've got to make one more function first. So let's right click, custom event. We have to use an event because we're going to use a timer, and we're going to call this move time. We're going to get our player controller. And what we're going to do is we're going to disable our click event. So set enable click event. We can set that to false. This stops the player then spamming our mesh. Then we're going to drag in our clicked mesh. We're going to get relative location. We're going to bring in, we have our start location that we made the other episode. We're going to drag that in there. So we're going to start, so we're basically getting where our mesh is that we've clicked, and we'll be setting this shortly. And we're getting its start location. So we're going to click on here and say add timeline. I'm just going to call this slide piece. Something like that in the spelling. We're going to open it up. We're going to check use last keyframe. We're going to add a track. We're going to name it alpha. Excuse me. We're going to shift click 2 times in here. First one we're going to set to 0, 0. Second one we're going to set to 0.5, 1. And to see it properly, use these. And you should see we've got a nice part there. Okay, so we can close that. We can go back to our event graph. Make sure this is not on play, but play from start. First, it'll play wherever it was last stopped at. We want to drag in our clicked mesh. Drag that in. And we're going to say set relative location. Like this. Going to drag in our start location. And we're going to get our move to target. And we're going to get the relative location from that. So get relative location. I'm going to give ourselves a little bit of space here. Okay. And here we're going to alert vector. We're going to start location is going to be the start location, so we can drag that in and click it on there. The B point pin, we're going to split. We're going to split this, and we're also going to split this. Why is it doing that? Come on. Split. Split. Delete these. I don't know what I've done here. Okay, so delete that. Okay, let's try splitting it again. I'm not looking properly what I'm doing. Okay, so the Z, we again, like before, we don't want to move, so the Z is going to go to the Z. And your X and your Y is going to go here, quite simply. And your alpha from there is going to go to the alpha from there. Okay. And then from finished, basically, we're going to take these 2 nodes, paste them here. On finished, we're going to re-enable our click events. And it's at this point you can do a check whether, you know, depending on your game, whether the puzzle is completed. And if you want me to show you how to do the code for that at a later date, please leave a comment below. And then you can do whatever you need to do from that, or you can just play again or whatever. Okay. So that's that. Now we're going to go and fill in our on-click events. And here we're going to get our click to mesh. That's going to be on the touch component. Okay. What the on click event does is basically means when you left click, it detects if you clicked on anything and gives back what you clicked on. So then we're going to get our get neighboring tiles. Then we're going to get our move positions. Joining that to neighboring tiles. We're going to get our move target down here. Right click it. Convert it to a validated get. If it's valid, we're going to come off here and say move tile, which is the event we just did with the timeline, and that's it. So let's see whether we're working or not. I'll play the game, go over to here, press my E key, and you see now we have taken over the event. You can see now the puzzle is all scrambled up. If I click on one of these, it moves, but it's been a bit weird. Okay. Okay, something's gone a bit strange there. Let me find out what's gone wrong, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, quite simply, I found it quite simple. In our get neighboring tiles function, when we set up the sphere overlap here, I forgot to add the filter to box collision. Okay, I think it was set to none like this. You set it to box collision. Okay, compile it. Still running actually. Compile it again, and now let's try and run it again. Let's see what happens. So if we walk up to it, whoop, press the E. Now we see it slides in the correct place. And if you press your E key again, come back out there, and your player's got full control. Okay. And that concludes this series. If there's any more information you would like to know or anything you would like to do to advance this, don't hesitate to ask the question in the comments or in my Discord. Just a little tip, if you click on this, you go to your details panel. Here you can change your puzzle image. So if I sort of say, well, I could change the image to that, for example. Okay. And you see, because of the way it's done it, it's split this up a bit weird, but you can change it to whatever you like. Add a something like that, you know. Whatever you want. You know, view full logo. Yeah. So you can import any photo, picture you like. Just try and keep them square, just make sense. The dog back. And away we go. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. This is the final episode in this series. It's been a short series of short videos. If you like this format, please let me know. If you prefer longer videos and longer series, also let me know. Tell me what you want. I want to try to run this channel as a community run channel, so if there's ideas that you've got, you want, throw them at me. If we can put a series together, why not? Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Come and have a chat on Discord. If you really appreciate my work, check out my Patreon or buy me a coffee. All the links are below. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.